there, welcome back to Cheese Kitchen. Today we're going to make a very special fish dish. It's a grilled fish dish that I learned how to make from my mom. It's called chả cá thăng long. This type of grilled fish you can get in certain restaurants, more specialized in Vietnamese northern cuisine. You can probably get this dish, but otherwise you just have to make it at home. So there are some special ingredients that you will need for this recipe. Number one, you need a type of fatty white fish, and I like to use catfish because it's a little bit fatty, so it's moist when you eat it. So here's some catfish here. And you want to get catfish nuggets. So these are nuggets. Let me show you the size. Show you another piece. I probably have about 2 pounds here. Other ingredients that you will need are a bunch of fresh green onions. You will need to chop these into small bits. You will need a yellow onion that we will need to chop into slices. A special herb you'll need is dill. Now, in a lot of the American grocery stores, they don't carry a lot. So they just sell you in a little packet. And it comes with like 1 or 2 sprigs of dill, which is not enough. You need a large bunch like this. Okay, so Asian markets sell them in large bunches like this and much more affordable too. Then you'll need some turmeric. It looks like a kind of a mustard color powder. Then you'll need some mushroom seasoning. Bring it up close. And they look grainy like this. They come in little granules. If you don't have any, you can substitute mushroom seasoning with salt and black pepper. It won't be as good, but it's sufficient. Then you'll need some shrimp paste or shrimp sauce. It comes in a jar like this. And you can get it in Asian markets. And you'll need some water. And you'll need a little bit of oil. In terms of equipment, you need a large mixing bowl. This is where you'll mix all the ingredients together and then have to refrigerate it. And to cook it, we will be baking it in the oven, and you need a broiler. A broiler is this. Comes in 2 pieces like this. Alright, so first we need some preparation of some of the vegetables. We're going to slice this onion into thin slices. So first we gotta remove the skin. So to start off, I'm going to cut this in half. And then I let it sit on its side like this and slice this way into little thin slices. Once you've got them thinly sliced, you can separate them because they're kind of stuck together. Now let's chop up our green onions. You need a lot of green onions. So one big bunch like this is just right. Okay, now that we've got them all cut up, let's put them aside. Now let's chop up some dill. We only want the leafy part of the dill, the stem here at the end. We don't care about those. I'm throwing those away. So we want the stem as well, like these little thin stems, because they bring out the flavor of the dill. However, this one is way too large, too thick, so I'm not going to use a stem that's this big. These little thinner stems are great. You can see here, this is too big. So those, I'm just going to break off the small branches and throw away the big stem. All right, so I've gotten only the little stems now. The big stems are all thrown away, and I'm just going to chop them into bits. Okay, now let's set them aside. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to crush some garlic. We gotta get the skin off first. I'm going to use a mortar and pestle to get the skin off and then to crush it. So first I lightly tap it. That will get the skin to just fall off, like so. Now that all the garlic skin has been removed, we're going to crush it. This dish requires us to crush the garlic to get out the maximum flavor. So I'm using a mortar and pestle to crush it. As you can see, our garlic is all crushed. Here is our catfish in our mixing bowl. I'm going to add the garlic first. Next, I'm going to mix in the shrimp paste with the water. You need a tablespoon of shrimp paste. And just dump it in the water and mix it up. As you can see, once the shrimp paste is diluted in water, it turns the water kind of a brownish color like that. Now I'm going to season the fish with mushroom powder. Then I'm going to add some turmeric. And then we're going to mix it all up. Next, I'm going to pour in the shrimp paste mixture. You don't have to use the entire half cup. I'm just doing it enough for the seasoning, for the flavor. You don't want to add too much, it'll be too salty. Okay? Last, remember all of the chopped vegetables we did earlier? I'm going to put in just a little bit, not the entire batch, because I want to save some for the baking part. So I'm going to put in a little bit of green onions, a little bit of dill, a little bit of sliced onions, and mix it all up. As you can see, all the ingredients are mixed together. Our fish is well marinated. Now it needs to be sitting in the fridge for about 4 hours for all the marinade to soak in. So I'm going to refrigerate this covered. What I usually prefer to do is just throw it in the fridge for overnight and then the next day I make it. But 4 hours is what you need. Let's put it in the fridge. Okay, our fish is almost ready to be baked, so I'm going to prepare my broiler. What I do is I like to line both parts so that it's a much easier cleaning job. Piece. So what I want is still have the little holes to be there so that when the fish is cooking, we want any excess fat to drip down out of our pan and away from the fish. So right now I'm going to get a knife and then just poke some holes in. You can kind of feel it where the indentations are. Right here there's a spot. Next, I'm going to prepare my skillet with some oil. Okay, as you can see, I have a skillet on my stove heating up, and I've got some oil here already. And there, my chopstick is sizzling. The oil is ready. I'm just going to push it back a little bit here and there, not to get it fully cooked, just slightly softened. That's about enough. I just turned off the heat. You could say I've been sauteing for maybe a minute or so because the skillet is still hot. So I'm just going to leave the onions in there so that it can cook a little bit more without any more direct heat because I don't want it fully cooked. Okay, we're ready to get our oven heated up and to bake our fish. All right, so after our fish has been marinating in the fridge for about 4 hours or so, what we're doing now is we're laying out the fish onto the broiler. I was able to fit pretty much everything without having to add a second layer of fish. Don't want to do that because then the bottom layer won't cook very well. So I only had to overlay a few pieces, not too bad. Now to get the fish to cook quicker, I'm going to cover it in foil. My oven has been preheated. It's ready for me to put the fish in the oven. Let's do it. So I just removed the fish out of the oven. It's been cooking for 40 minutes. So now I'm going to put on top the onions I sauteed earlier. Lastly, what I'm going to put on is the dill. So next, I'm going to put this in the oven on broil, uncovered, for just about 2 minutes or so. While the fish is broiling, what you want to do is just kind of keep an eye on it. As you start to see the edges of the fish start to turn a little bit seared and brown, kind of starting to like it's going to burn to a crisp, that's when you remove it from the oven. Okay? So let's keep an eye on it. All right, so after about 2-3 minutes broiling in the oven, this is what it looks like. You might be able to see some of the edges of the fish there, slightly browned. Okay, so this is ready to be served. Let's take a look at how we can eat this. There's lots of ways we can eat this dish. So this dish requires a lot of fresh vegetables. You can use a lot of different kinds. Today I chose to do some lettuce, some sliced cucumbers, some cilantros here. And this herb here is Vietnamese coriander. To give you a closer look of it, it looks like that. And this herb is only available in a Vietnamese market. You can't get it in any other Asian market. If you don't have these, you can use basil, mint leaves, bean sprouts, shaved carrots, some shaved daikon radish. So any fresh vegetables will go with this dish. What I did was I made up a bowl for my family. So you can see here all the vegetables are there. And what you want to do is put the fish on top and eat it as is, or add a little layer of rice noodles. That will go really well as well. And then top it with the fish. Another way of eating this is to wrap it using rice paper. So here is some rice paper I have here. They're small individual size. I'll show you up here so you can see it's small like that. So you take a sheet out, you dip it in warm water and put it back on your plate. Then you give yourself a little bit of lettuce, some slices of cucumber, some of the fresh vegetables. Then you put on the fish and then you roll it like a burrito or an egg roll. And then you just eat it like that with your fingers. So that's another way of eating it. Okay, so basically fresh vegetables, and I can't forget the special sauce. You need a dipping sauce. Here's a dipping sauce that I like to eat this with. This is very similar to what I put on the fish to marinate. This is that shrimp paste mixed with water. I have some garlic in here. I have a little bit of squeeze of lemon, some sugar, and I also put in some chili paste for some spice. Okay, so this is a sauce I'm going to be eating this dish with. Not everybody likes shrimp paste, so you could dip this with regular fish sauce, mixed fish sauce. You know, fish sauce has been mixed with like lemon, water, sugar, and so you mix it, take a garlic, you mix it, and you can dip it in that. So here is the finished bowl with all the fresh vegetables and the fish in there. Doesn't that look gorgeous? And it smells delicious. So I hope you enjoy making chả cá thăng long with me and try it out, see what you think. I hope your family enjoys it.
So glad you joined Cheese Kitchen today. See you next time. Bon appetit.